Hey everyone, welcome back. I think there's an update on this website. Some of the steps are repeated, so bear along with me. But in this video, we will be covering steps 61 to 71 according to new update. If you did not understand any pre-solved steps in this video, kindly check the previous video. Let's proceed with step 61, shall we? As we covered this step in the previous video, we need to add another option to the second question as the word energetic. So let's copy-paste the previous input and change the lazy word to energetic. Smart work, people! Step 62. So since this step was already covered in the previous video, the website has saved our solution to this one. This update looks confusing, but don't worry, just check the previous video or observe the code in this video. Step 63. In this step, we make one of our options as pre-checked, which means a radio button selected by default. In our code, let's make our first radio button as selected by default. For that, we need to add the attribute called checked to the input element of the first option. We don't need to set any value to the checked attribute, just make sure there's a space between it and other attributes. Notice how the first options are selected by default. You can change options according to your desire later. Step 64. Let's add a footer element to our website. You might have noticed before, a footer typically contains information about the author of the document, copyright data, links to terms of use, contact information, and more. So after the main element, let's add a footer element. Step 65. Let's nest P element with the text as no copyright FreeCodeCamp.org within the footer element. Step 66. Let's turn our existing FreeCodeCamp.org text into a link by enclosing it in an anchor element. But be sure to add the link to the href attribute. You can notice the link at the very bottom of our web page with the text no copyright and a link which directs to FreeCodeCamp.org website. Step 67. It's the time to add the head element to our web page. The head element is used to contain the metadata about the document, such as title, links to style sheets when you use CSS or any other style sheets, and scripts. Metadata is the information about the page that isn't displayed directly on the page. Enough talking about head element, and let's add it above body element. Step 68. Let's add title to our title bar or tab of the web page. So title for our web page gonna be cat photo app. Looks like we are almost at the end of building our cat photo app. Step 69. As you know, HTML element is the root element of an HTML page which wraps all the content of the page. To be specific, we gotta let the browser know that our page is in English language, and we can do that by adding lang attribute to the opening HTML tag. Step 70. You know all the web pages should begin with DOC type HTML. This is a special string known as a declaration and ensures the browser tries to meet industry-wide specifications. It tells browsers that the document is an HTML5 document, which is the latest version of HTML. We need to add this declaration as the first line of code always. Step 71. It's the last step of our cat photo app. We need to nest a meta element with an attribute named charSet, set to the value UTF-8, which tells the browser how to encode characters for the page. But don't forget meta is a void element, which means it doesn't have a closing tag. Wow, congratulations for completing the cat photo app project. You're more genius than you think. Alright, we completed our first lesson in responsive web design, that is cat photo app. Pat yourself for that achievement. Let's continue with next chapter, which is learning about basic CSS by building a cafe menu. Stay tuned for upcoming videos. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.